Hey guys and gals, I'm here to show you how to disassemble the modeled VSS. I haven't done it that often, but someone showed it to me and I'm trying to memorize everything he showed me before I forget, so that's basically why I'm doing this video now. First of all, of course, you want to check the status of the firearm, if it's unloaded. So we're gonna remove the magazine, check the chamber, empty as it can get, and you have to actually push the trigger because you can't disassemble all the parts without doing so. Next step, we're going to remove the scope, pushing the lever slightly upwards, gently putting it back. There goes the scope. Next step, we want to remove the suppressor. There's a button here at the bottom that you have to press and turn the suppressor. There it goes. As you can see, this is not your standard civilian model VSS. This one had the barrel shortened to the original military VSS barrel length because it has a working suppressor with modernized internals. Because why would you need a VSS without it being suppressed? But it doesn't have the original gas relief holes on top as the military VSS because it works like that good anyway. There is a spring. You can just put it off. Next one, you want to remove the handguard. The same button that releases the suppressor also releases the handguard. It's a bit tricky to show you. Have to push it down and just push it forward. And from here on, you can slide it off. There goes your handguard. With the military VSS, you would remove the stock next. But the civilian one has secured against, if you remove the stock, you can't pull a trigger, but you have to pull a trigger later to pull another part out, so we have to leave the stock on. Let's continue with the top cover for now. This has an extra safety button that have pressed down, and then you can push it forward, and there goes the cover. Now you can see that there are two springs inside. First one is like on an AK-47, AKM or whatever, the recoil spring. Now we're gonna gently push forward, upward. There goes the recoil spring, which is probably oily, and now I have oily fingers. Next one, this is the firing pin spring. We push that forward, and now we can pull it upwards. And no little guy, you stay in there for now. And there goes the firing pin spring. Now, this is the part I told you about. To get this out, you slightly need to pull the trigger, or else, you see, oh, you don't have to pull the trigger. Well, every day I learn. That was quite interesting. Because now there's your bolt. Now I can show you. Push this button up here to push stock down and pull it backwards. There you go. And the gas tube thingy, you can see that it's movable, and there should be a slight recess somewhere around here where you can release it. There you go. And that's pretty much it. So you have your receiver with the trigger and barrel. We have the bolt carrier with the bolt. The bolt that kind of looks like an AR-15 bolt more than a K bolt. Of course, like with a standard AK bolt, you can pull it out. There you go. Firing pin thingy, gas tube, handguard, and we have a big mess. Let's see if I can put it back together. First going by putting the bolt head. See that here? Just make sure that the extractor and the ejector on the right side. There you go. That's the correct. But before putting that back, we have our little tiny gas tube. And again, make sure that it's correctly indexed. There's the index. You can see it here. This is the index where it goes. After that, turn it upwards so it won't move. Oh no. We have our bolt. Put the bolt back in. Find the correct position for it to slide into the receiver. There it goes. Sits in the receiver. That's in. And next we're gonna continue. I'm sorry, but that this wiggles and wobbles is making me kinda. Why is this moving? Come on. Can't you be fixed? Everything else is so fixed in this thing, but this is not. Anyway. Now this little part, the firing pin holder, you see all the rails it has of all the sides. So that's the one that requires a bit of fine fingery to make sure that it sits correctly in the range of the receiver. There it goes. Sits in there, and now you see the trigger blocks it from going all the way in. You have to pull the trigger slightly, and it should slide in. Again, make sure it sits correctly. Of course, there you see I can't pull the trigger now because the stock isn't on there. Putting the stock back on. Now the stock is back on. Now I can pull the trigger enough for it to pass the trigger unit. And there it goes. It sits back in there. So for the firing pin, stay up there, please. There is this small little thingy up here, this detent of kind of sort, and that's where this one has to rest. So you're putting it in there, pushing it forward, and trying to fit it carefully in this little detent. There it goes, sits into the detent. Now, this one I found especially challenging when I've seen someone showing me how to get this back in. And you will see like now. So come on, Mr. Spring, you go in there. And now this part has to perfectly slide onto this firing pin recast. And last time I've tried this took a while to get it in, but come on, don't make me look bad in front of my viewers, little VSS. There it goes. Hey, it sits in there. So just checking again if the stock is fully. There you go. Stock wasn't fully put on. Now it is. So stock is fully back on. We have the firing pin spring back in. We have the bolt back in, and we have the recoil spring back in. So you see now this part, the firing pin part stays back in, and if I pull the trigger now, it will slide forward. That means it works. Yay! I almost managed to put the model VSS back by myself. The cover, as you do with most AKs, just give it a nice little push to the forward and a push down. Make sure it's seated up there. There you go. And see, it's not fully seated yet. So you're pushing forward. There's it. Now it's fully seated and can't be moved. Go to the handguard. The handguard that goes this way. Just putting it over there. That's it. Handguard is in. Suppressor. When you're putting the suppressor on, don't forget to put this one back on, huh? Who of you have noticed that I did forget to put this one on? You have your little D10 recos, whatever, and this one goes up in here, so it's indexed and can't move to the left or right. Now you put the suppressor back on. Because it's a spring, you have to push it inward and turn it, and it's back in, and it doesn't move at all. Magazine. As with a usual AK magazine, this one has to go in the front. Put it back. There you have the magazine. Sits tightly. Scope. Make sure you're hitting the right spot. Put it on there. Safety. And that's it. That's how you very slowly, carefully disassemble a modeled VSS and try not to look completely stupid like I did. But hey guys, gals, pretty much the first time I did it by myself alone. And hey, I'll give myself, well, no. You be the judge. If I did it good enough for you, let me know in the comments, and I'll hope I can show you a video of firing this nice little beauty very soon. Bye.